So, self-empathy versus self-pity and self-blame. What's the difference between these two states of awareness? So you know when you do or say something that you really regret, and then either you get this like horrible queasy feeling in your stomach, or this like clenching in the heart. It's like this sense of shame and guilt, and you start thinking things like, oh no, I should have done that differently. So blaming yourself basically. Or completely the opposite, you might start to feel sorry for yourself and think, God, this is not fair. Why does this always happen to me? Why are other people always doing X, Y, and Z? Why do they always do it to me? It's just not fair. Do you recognize either of those? Well, I know I can recognize both scenarios in myself, and I remember many, many times when I felt guilt and shame as quick as the speed of lightning, or I thought that I had a curse on me for attracting these kinds of behaviors from other people. So let's start with looking at what it's like when I'm in a state of self-pity or self-blame. So often when I'm self-pitying or self-blaming, I want to run away from my feelings and I want to hide from them. I'm also focusing on the lack of certain things that I don't have in my life, and it's coming from this place of lack, and I won't have it ever. And I'm often blaming myself and others as the cause of my feelings, as the root of my feelings and my situation. And I label myself as a victim or a perpetrator. So I'm really stuck in a certain outlook of life. And there is this feeling of helplessness, like I can't make any changes. I have no choice. Whereas when I'm coming from this state of self-empathy, I really welcome my vulnerability and my emotions. And when my needs are not being met, I really mourn those needs. I mourn, wow, how beautiful it would be if they were met in my life. I'm also really seeking to understand those feelings and needs that are behind the behaviors that I don't enjoy. And I want to take responsibility for my feelings and for my actions. Yeah. And I'm also open to the flow of life and the multiple opportunities for me to meet needs. So these are the key distinctions between those two different ways of thinking. And I really would love to bring at this point something that might be coming up for you is a sense of right or wrong, good or bad. If I'm in self-empathy, then I'm doing the right thing, whereas if I'm in self-pity or blame, then I'm doing the wrong thing. Whereas again, I really want to invite this awareness that whatever it is that I choose to do, I'm really just trying to meet those beautiful needs. It might be that I want to move more towards self-empathy because it's more nourishing for me than blaming myself all the time. And yet I really want to understand that I'm human and I have grown up in this world, in this society, where blame and judgment and criticizing and right or wrong is the way that things are done in the modern world. It is the way in which we have been educated. So it's going to take some time for me to move towards self-empathy. So with that, I'd love to give you just one or two examples of thoughts that I've had in the past in my own life and how they come from these two different ways of thinking or connecting with myself. So one of the thoughts is, oh shit, I should have waved at her. She must think that I was ignoring her or that I'm rude, and oh no, right, maybe I should send her a text message now and let her know that I did see her, and maybe, oh God, I forgot her name, and wow, that's really embarrassing. So that was the thought process that was going through my head. But what was really going on inside of me, so if I move towards self-empathy, it's like I could say, wow, I feel really sad, and I kind of mourn that I didn't wave to her because I actually so long for connection and care. And I care about how other people feel. Yeah. And then I might make a request of myself in order to meet those needs for connection and caring. Another thought that I had in the past was, wow, I'll never find a suitable partner. I'm just not good enough, or I keep attracting these kinds of men in my life. This was a thought that I had. And another way in which I could really translate that into self-empathy is more something like, I'm really fed up and I'm feeling very insecure. I'd really love to have some companionship and partnership in my life. Yeah. And of course, there's so much more to that. So we're really just touching the tip of the iceberg. And with my demonstration right now, I'm only just showing you an example of how we can change the language that we use. But really, there's a lot more to it than that. In order to embody these differences, we really need to step into the body, look at ourselves, look at our conditionings and our awarenesses, and practice together in order to invite that embodiment. And so if you're interested in learning more about these two different ways of connecting with yourself or with other people, then I really invite you to have a look at some of my upcoming courses, which are in the link below, where you can practice in a group and learn specific skills to help you connect with yourself and with others in a different way, from compassion and curiosity rather than judgment, blame, or analysis. So my invitation for you right now at home, in order to become more aware of your own thoughts and the ways that you speak to yourself, is to perhaps start writing down in a notebook that you could carry around with you any moments where you have thoughts like this, where you might be blaming yourself or feeling self-pity, and just write down your thoughts. And then, using the feelings and needs lists, which are also in the link below, you can start asking yourself, what is it that I was really feeling in that moment when I thought that? Or what is it that I was really longing for when I was thinking that? And see if you can create a sentence that is connecting to yourself from self-compassion, from self-empathy. So I really hope that this video brings some sense of clarity around this key distinction between self-empathy and self-blame and self-pity, and I hope that it helps to bring clarity around how that plays out in your own life. Thank you for listening.